Hey everybody, so I came across a study that you are going to love. It's a review study that argues how insulin is actually the cause of atherosclerosis or heart disease as opposed to fat. So this was written by Dr. Robert Stout from Queen's University in Belfast. He's been researching this hypothesis for a while before he published this review article that I found in 1977. And as you can see, this is the abstract. The conclusion of his review is really interesting to read. So what he says is that there is evidence that a proportion of subjects who have atherosclerosis or who are at risk of developing atherosclerosis have elevated circulating insulin levels. That's number one. And number two, there is evidence that arterial wall is an insulin sensitive tissue, which means that when your arterial tissue is exposed to insulin, a whole host of things happen that we don't want to see if we want to prevent heart disease. Specifically, what happens is proliferation of smooth muscle cells, which line your blood vessels. And so now your blood vessels become thicker, which is definitely not what you want to see for hypertension or heart disease. Also, when you're eating carbs, you're producing insulin, and that is blocking lipolysis, so you cannot break down the fats in your arterial walls. And what insulin also leads to is the synthesis of cholesterol, phospholipid, and triglyceride in your arterial wall. And so what ends up happening is that chronic exposure to high concentrations of insulin results in the development of lipid-filled lesions similar to those of early atherosclerosis. Thus, the conclusion, insulin has the ability to promote changes in the artery, which in the long term may progress to atherosclerosis. Why hasn't this line of research been taken more seriously and studied more heavily? And then the final conclusion, he ends it by saying the two lines of evidence together suggest that high levels of circulating insulin may have a role in the development of atherosclerosis. And I agree. And that's why I don't eat the oatmeal and I don't eat the carbs or the grains or the beans and all that kind of stuff, because all of it leads to insulin. I would pay attention to dairy too, because that can spike insulin. This is my Instagram if you want to connect and see what I eat and what I do on a regular basis. And this is my website, DRZALDIVAR.com, if you want to hit me up for coaching. And this is the actual study, the reference. It is also linked in the description box below. I hope this was helpful. If you liked this study, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell icon so YouTube alerts you every time I post a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.